how is it you don't know how Allah rescued Jesus? Why are your tasfirs speculating?
I don't know.
Shall I tell you why they are speculating?
Okay, go on, tell me.
Because no Muslim knows. No Muslim ever knew. Now, why is it that when Muslims don't know, they just make things up?
What does Mark 12:29 say?
What does Mark 12:29 say? Have you got a Bible? Let's pull it up and have a read of it.
I don't know what version you got.
I am reading the New American Standard Version. What version of the Quran do you use?
There's only
Is it Hafs, Wash, Duri? Which version of the Quran?
That's translation.
No, that's not translation.
No.
You see, you don't know, do you? You don't know. Hafs is not a translation, friend.
Okay.
Hafs is not a translation.
Yeah.
Right? Hafs is a recitation.
All right.
See, I'm educating you about your deen right now.
Okay, all right,
So let me educate you about your deen.
Okay.
There are different versions of the Quran.
Yeah.
The Hafs, Warsh, Duri and others besides. Most Muslims accept that at least 10 of these versions are canonical, but there are more than 10. So my question is, which version of the Quran do you use?
I just use whatever.
So you don't know? Okay,
No.
fair enough.
Okay,
So let's go to Mark 12.
29.
Let's just pull it up. Bear with us 1 second. Mark 12, 3 to 9, did you say?
Mark 12:29.
Mark 12:29. Okay, let's read it. So Mark 12:29, it says, Jesus answered, "The foremost is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength." So that's including verse 30 as well.
How can Jesus pray to himself
Yeah.
if he's God? That doesn't make sense.
Okay, so Christians don't believe that.
Yeah, Trinity.
No, so here's the thing. Just like you didn't know about Hafs, Wash and Duri,
Yeah.
you also don't know about the Trinity.
Yeah, okay, tell me.
Yes, thank you. So Christians do not say that Jesus prayed to himself. There are modalists in this park that believe that kind of nonsense, but that's not what Christians believe. Christians believe that Jesus prayed to the Father. Now, are they both God? Yes, but are they the same person? No. So if you're asking who did Jesus pray to, the answer is obvious. Jesus prayed to the Father, not to himself.
Okay, so where does the Holy Ghost come from?
The Holy Ghost proceeds from the Father.
Okay, so you believe in Trinity?
We don't believe in three gods.
Yeah.
What's your name, brother?
My name's Mohammed.
Mohammed. I promise you, Bob,
Bob.
I promise you this conversation would go better if you didn't assume that you know about things that you don't.
Believe me,
Christians,
what I learned,
yeah, well, clearly
Yeah.
you haven't learned much.
All right.
Christians don't believe in three gods. This is an error inside the Quran.
So you're a monotheist.
So when the Quran says,
Do you believe in one God?
I'm going to finish.
Yeah.
When the Quran says, say not three, for Allah is one God,
Yeah.
that is a mistake inside the Quran, because Christians only believe in one God. We don't believe in three gods. Let me ask you this question,
No,
Mohammed.
but that Mark 29.
Yeah.
He just said there's one God.
No, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Actually, what he says.
All right.
Right.
What did he say?
I can actually help you to find a
help me,
verse
help me,
where
come on.
Jesus says
Help me.
there's only one true God.
Okay.
Right, but it's not this verse. Let's actually look at what he says. Let's do a Bible study, and at least you'll go away from this knowing a little bit more than when you came in. Right?
Okay,
So in Mark 12:29 it says, "The foremost commandment is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind." So let me just explain what this means. Jesus was having a debate within the Jewish world
Yeah.
about what was the commandment that all the Mosaic law should be prismed through, structured on.
Yeah.
Right? What was the commandment that you hanged all the other commandments on?
Yeah.
Right? So for some Jews, it was all about the ritual practices. Right? The idea that you didn't eat pork,
Yeah.
that you washed your hands, that you slaughtered the animals in a certain way. For some, it was all about the priesthood. Right? But Jesus comes in and he's got this argument that it's about the ethics upon which you live. And the greatest of the commandments is not, as the liberal Christians say, do unto others as you would have done unto yourself.
Okay.
The greatest commandment, Jesus says, is that you love God with your entire being. That we give the fullness of ourself, we offer the fullness of ourself to God. And that's what we as Christians seek to do. We seek to offer up our entire life, soul and body to God as a living sacrifice.
The Father.
Yes, through
Not
the
Jesus.
Son. So when we offer ourselves to the Father, if you read the rest of Scripture, because remember, it's not just one verse of the Bible on its own, we do it as part of a priesthood, right? As Christians, we see ourselves as priests. And we offer our life, soul and bodies to God the Father through Jesus Christ, who is our great high priest. He's a mediator. He's a mediator, yes.
Okay, so mediator meaning like
That he stands...
Like prophets are. All
So-
prophets are mediators.
No, not all prophets are
Yeah, they
mediators.
are.
No, there's
Because
only
they-
one
The
mediator.
command comes through them, through the Father, if you want to call Father or Allah, whatever.
Yeah.
Through the prophets,
Yeah.
and they mediate the information,
Right.
the message.
So if that
Just like Moses did,
so
like
if
all of them.
so if that is the act of mediation that we're talking about, then I can utterly agree with you. Every prophet is a mediator.
So then
However,
where's the difference?
So the difference is the mediation that Christ is doing is one that is offering up as a priest the sacrifice. And so in the sense of the one that offers up the sacrifice, there's only one that does that, and that's Jesus Christ. So if by mediation we mean someone who mediates a revelation to us,
Yeah.
then I totally agree. Every prophet is a mediator. But if we're talking about which prophet offers up the sacrifice to God the Father, then Jesus Christ is the only mediator between man and God. That's the Christian perspective.
Okay. Because in my faith,
Yeah?
all prophets are equal.
They're
They
not.
all came with one message: monotheism.
You-
This is the sole thing Muslims believe in.
Yeah,
Monotheism,
that's what we believe
one
in.
God.
But the devil also believes in
But
that.
then why have a triune God? You see, the Father, Son, Holy Ghost. I don't understand where the other two come from.
Okay, so let me just correct a couple of things. Firstly, your claim that all the prophets are equal is not true. On the day of judgment, the people are going to go, according to your hadiths, the people go to the other prophets and ask them to pray to Allah so that judgment day can begin. And all of them go, I'm not worthy. And only Muhammad is worthy to do that. So it's actually false when you say that all the prophets are equal, because that's not what you believe as a Muslim.
Not equal.
Secondly,
Can you explain what
hold on.
terms I'm saying?
You can just remember, and you can come back when it's your turn. Secondly, in terms of monotheism, right? Shaitan is a monotheist. Shaitan only believes in Allah as God. But so this claim that monotheism is this great thing is just misdirected. It's not incredible to believe in one God. Even demons believe in one God. What you need to do is to submit to God. That's the important thing. And Muslims are not submitting to God
Islam
because
is
they
submission
rebel
to-
against God.
What does it mean? Submission to the will of Allah.
That doesn't mean that Muslims are doing that just because they have a word. That's a word fallacy.
In this day and age, what the Christians doing?
Christians
what
are
the Jews
sacrificing. The Christians are doing
Doing? What the Hindus doing?
Christians are doing the only thing that God requires, which is they offer up they are in the Melchizedek priesthood, and they are offering up their souls and bodies as living sacrifices to God. Muslims cannot and do not make that claim. So you are not submitted to God. You are in rebellion against God along with the demons.
Okay, if that's your belief, then that's your.
No, no.
Bob.
Let me ask you a question, bro. Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Right? Why does Allah need to make it look like Jesus died on a cross? Why can't he just rescue Jesus without anyone looking like they died on a cross?
I don't know. Good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's my point, right?
Go on.
It is superfluous and unnecessary for Allah to make it look like anyone dies on a cross if his aim is to save Jesus.
Okay.
He could have just saved Jesus and then mocked and ridiculed the Jews for trying powerlessly to kill Jesus when he saved him. There is no reason whatsoever for what the Quran says when the Quran says that Allah made it look like someone died on that cross. Now, the Quran goes on to say that we Christians are in doubt, the Jews are in doubt, and we only have our conjecture to go on about what happened to Jesus. But every Christian agrees Jesus Christ died on a cross. But Muslims have many different theories about how Allah rescued Jesus. So which theory do you believe? How did Allah rescue Jesus?
I read the Quran about the other side of it and the Hadith.
It's not in the Quran.
Sure. In the Hadith, I'm on about. Yeah, the Hadith.
Yeah,
Hadith,
it's not in the Hadiths.
Well, where is it then?
See, I'm helping you with your deen.
Help me then, help me.
Yeah, it's in the Tafsir.
Right, that's
So you've got all these different Tafsir. You've got Ibn Kathir's theory. You've got Al-Jalalain's theory. You've got Ahmadidat's theory. You've got all these different theories about how Allah rescues Jesus. How is it you don't know how Allah rescued Jesus? Why are your Tafsirs speculating?
I don't know.
Shall I tell you why they are speculating?
Okay, go on, tell me.
Because no Muslim knows. No Muslim ever knew. Now, why is it that when Muslims don't know, they just make things up?
I don't know about that.
But we just saw you on camera do the same. You did not know about the Hafs and Duri, and you said it was about translation. You didn't know about the Trinity, and you said it was tritheism.
Obviously, I've got to look into it further. Yeah. I understand. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah?
Okay, fair enough.
I've got a lot of study to do.
Fair enough.
But the thing is,
I can respect that.
One thing I can't understand is, in this day and age we live in, we've got all people of different walks of life here. There must be some connection. There's got to be a connection somewhere.
Connection between whom?
There's that. As a Muslim, I believe there's a connection between all humanity, and that connection is just the one God. That's what I believe in.
But I
believe that all prophets came with the same message.
Yeah.
Abraham, all of them. And if you look into the Quran and you read it, I'm sure you know more than me.
I've read a translation.
Yeah. If you read it, you can see where all this kind of links up.
Right, so let me just point something out to you that a lot of Muslims don't know. If you look at the way that people worship their God, say something about the God that they worship. You know, Hindus do things like, these devotional practices where they keep their hand stuck up forever, or they stay stood up, or they walk around naked, or they expand their genitals by attaching bricks to their penis. They do all these kinds of devotional practices to their different gods, right? Mormons think that they have to go into their temple and they have to do special rituals that are all basically stolen from Freemasons, right? Okay. Muslims, they bow down and they all face the Kaaba. Christians, they practice the Eucharist, right? Now, so the way that we worship our God says something about the God that we worship. Now, if you look at the way that Moses worshipped God, the way that David worshipped God, the way that Isaiah worshipped God, the way that Elijah worshipped God, the way that John the Baptist worshipped God, and the way that Jesus worshipped God, they all worship in the same way. And it's not the way that Muslims worship. Yeah, they have a temple, they have a priesthood, they have a sacrifice.
Okay, when
do Muslims have any of those things?
I'm not too sure about that, but
they don't.
When Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane, he fell on the floor.
Yes.
What does that indicate?
It indicates.
On the floor.
It indicates.
Who does that?
Jews. Jews do that.
Jews go like that.
No.
They do.
Shall I show you in the Bible where they prostrate? Shall I show you where they prostrate in the Bible?
Right, show me.
Right, bear with us 1 second. Let me just pull it out for you.
Yeah, but do they do it in action?
Yes, they do the action. They bow down. I'm going to show you in the Bible where they do it.
Yeah, but
I'm going to show you.
Show me physically.
I'm going to show you in the Bible where they do it, where they prostrate. The thing is, Muslims have got this weird idea that they have copyright on prostration. Jews prostrate. Christians prostrate, Hindus prostrate, Buddhists prostrate, Zoroastrians prostrate. Pretty much everybody prostrates. Just because Muslims also prostrate doesn't mean that you've got copyright on prostration.
No
Prostration existed before Islam.
Yes.
So let me just show you in the Bible where the Jews prostrated. Bear with us 1 second. Won't take me a minute. Yeah?
Okay.
Right, so in Genesis 23:7. Let's go there.
Okay.
Right? Genesis 23:7. Genesis 23:7, it says, so Abraham rose and bowed to the people of the land, the sons of Heth. So he bowed. He prostrated himself,
Okay, yeah.
right? Prostration is an act of veneration. It is an act of honoring someone. Abraham's doing it to people.
Who's he doing it to?
He's doing it to the people of the land, look.
Not
To the people of the land.
Not to God.
We can show you also in Genesis where he can also show you in the Old Testament where they do it to the Ark of the Covenant.
16:22. Guys.
Yeah, Numbers 16:22. Yeah. Could you also, while we're doing it, could you pull up where people prostrate to Jesus?
I just found.
Where people prostrate to Jesus.
And then you can go to Joshua,
So,
second one. Joshua
sorry, number 16.
16:22.
16:22. Thanks, you're saving us time here.
Yes.
Right? I'll read from 20. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them instantly. But they fell down on their faces and said, O God, God of spirits of all flesh, when one man sins, will you be angry with the entire congregation? So here they're bowing down to God.
Yeah.
Now let me show you where they bow down to Jesus.
Matthew 2, verse 1.
Matthew 2.
From the beginning when he was born.
Yeah, Matthew.
Chapter 2, verse 11.
Thank you. Matthew chapter 2,
Verse 11.
verse 11. Right? Boom, 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 boom. So I'll read from verse 10. I'll read from verse 9. After hearing the king, they went their way, and the star which they had seen in the east went before them until it came and stood over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. After coming into the house, they saw the child, that's Jesus, by the way, with Mary, his mother, and they fell to the ground and worshipped him.
I've seen this in the film.
Right, so prostration isn't special to Muslims.
No, I don't mean that.
People bow down to God in Judaism. People bow down to people, and people bow down to Jesus.
Yeah, but this is where I'm trying to
Matthew
say.
8, verse 2.
No, it's all right.
See,
It's all right,
if you-
brother.
if
Thank
you-
you. Thank you.
if
Thank
you-
you.
Now,
No,
has
yes, I know.
Muslims who believe Adam was the first man, yeah, first human, father of all nations, and he was a Muslim.
No, he wasn't.
No, that's your belief. But this is what I believe. This is what we. Now, if we go from there, we start from that pinpoint. This is where the faith comes down. Through the ages, as each prophet came, it changed into something called Christianity. It changed into something called Judaism. Hinduism was there at the time as well. It changed. That was actually one of the first things it changed into. But at the end, each time a prophet came,
Yep.
the word came to that prophet, whatever prophet it was. As Muslims to believe there were 24,000 prophets. Each prophet that came with the same message, monotheism, one Lord. Yeah. With the Christianity that you follow today, the majority of Christians follow is Pauline Christianity, not Jesus' Christianity.
Can I reply?
Yeah,
So,
go on.
so Muhammad, you're running away from the point. So the point is,
Yeah.
all the prophets worshipped God in the same way.
Yeah.
Moses worshipped God with a priesthood at the Ark of the Covenant with sacrifices. David worshipped God with the Ark of the Covenant with a priesthood with sacrifices. Solomon worshipped God with a priesthood at the temple with sacrifices. All the prophets, including Jesus, went to the temple with the priesthood and worshipped God with sacrifices. Christians believe that Christ is the great sacrifice, that we are a body of priests, and that we are the temple of God. So we have continued in the worship of all the prophets, but you don't. Muhammad comes in the name of a different God and worships his God in a different way, unknown to any other prophet known. And so the fact that Muhammad teaches monotheism and that all the other prophets also taught monotheism is neither here nor there, because the demons believe in one God. That's not special. The point that is important is that you work. No, it isn't.
That's
It's
everything
nothing.
then.
No, it
Demons
isn't.
and man.
No, it isn't.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
it isn't.
it's one God.
Do demons worship God?
Yeah, but like you said, Satan.
Does Shaitan worship
Satan
God?
was an angel.
Does
according to
Shaitan
Christianity.
worship
yes,
God?
Of course he does. Even though he knows that he's the one.
So he's
God.
worshipping God.
Yeah, yes, he is.
He's
He is.
worshipping God.
What are you trying to say? You're trying to put me into a fix here.
So no, my point is, this is a genuine difference. For us, the demons are demons because they
you're comparing
are
demons
not
to Muslims. That's
no,
what
I,
you're
no,
trying to do.
no. Well, I mean, you are under the doctrine of demons. You are under the doctrine of
Bob,
demons.
You're very talented and very educated. I can see that. Yeah, that is no lie. But the fact is, at the end of the day, you can believe what you believe. I'll believe what I believe. And let's leave it at that.
Well, no, hold on. But you approached me, Mohammed, and you made a claim.
Okay, Bob.
All right, let me give you a gift, Mohammed. Show that there's no hard feelings.
No Bible, please.
No. So it's not. Don't worry. It's not going to be. Here, let me just find it for you. There you go. Have a read of that. God bless you. Take care, Mohammed. Anyone else want to have a chat or a conversation or ask any questions while we're here?